Hello there, Virgo. My name's Frankie. I'm a clairvoyant, clairaudient medium, and an empath. This reading's for Virgo for 2020, for July of 2020. I missed that part. For all of you that are new out there, I pull 4 cards for the month. We use the bottom card on the deck for our overall view of the month, and we will pull angel card at the end of the reading to hopefully bring everything together for us. Now, I am an empath, so I have a speech pattern. I speak as if I'm you. Makes all of us Virgo's named Frankie for the time of the reading. Look at your moon sign, your rising sign. You'll get a more comprehensive view of the month. I don't believe the cards will go week by week. I think they're going to blend in and out throughout the month, like an overall theme. Now, I have a short message for us before I start. The message is to pay attention, be aware of who we have alliances with, like the groups, the teams, the people that we have alliances with, because it's going to be really important to us for some reason this month. And the other thing is, watch for aggressive behavior from people, maybe businesses, maybe large institutions. So it's kind of a heads up. I think we have a fresh start coming to us and new things coming in for us, but I think we need to pay attention. What are people's motivations? Things like that. We have good words down here. Their kindness, authenticity, awakening, honesty, and spontaneity. And it's a interesting layout of cards. There's a few tough ones in here, but I know that we can get through them and get over them, basically, because here's our first card on the bottom of the deck. It's a rough one. It's a Five of Pentacles, and that's a card that it actually suggests something negative. Could be like spiritual bankruptcy, uh, tough times, unfavorable conditions. And we've been through a lot. So maybe it's the hangover of energies from June. A lot of us are, well, all of us, basically, the whole world, we're all put in that state of stasis, in our little go home and stay home thing. I almost feel like Source put us all in our rooms and said, figure out what you humans are doing. But this is a lot of that kind of energy. So it's a more warning about our money that might be soon to be very tight, or losses, might ensure, from losses from ill-advised investments sometime. Maybe that's why being aware this month of where my alliances are can become really important, and making sure that they are really honest and they're authentic, right, with us, like our original message. So support maybe that we thought was coming to us may not come. It's like a grant or a stipend, or maybe financial things that were promised to us, is what they're saying, may not come to us. Now, the one thing I want to really remember about this is look at the light behind. There's light behind that window. And even though this woman and child are like in front, his head's bleeding. Usually there's snow in there too, so he's freezing and bleeding at the same time. But there is a light behind us. And that tells us very clearly, when one door closes, another one opens, if we turn around and look. So there are ways we can get through any of this and get through them very well if we have the ability to look for a new source and a new way. So the card, to me, is not really bad, like in that manner. Kind of the only explanation I can think of is if you thought about going for a bank loan for a car or a house or something along those lines, let's say, or yeah, some kind of financial thing that I'm doing in some way because it's Pentacles. So if I was going and I got a bank and I picked the one with the lowest interest rate, which we all want to do anymore, I would pick the one with the lowest interest rate if it was me. And I go to buy the car or the house or whatever, and the bank backs out 2 days before. I would have a backup bank where I was already pre-approved for everything until I made it through that short period. Then maybe go look for the lower interest rate after I strutted my stuff around. It's so in that manner, I don't feel it's a bad card, and I actually don't feel it's a bad card because underneath it is the Nine of Pentacles, is when we have everything that we want and we're in a comfortable state of security. So if it's thought about that in that manner, have the backup plan. That's exactly how I feel about that card, and I always have had the backup plan or thought about a backup plan. And if I got that Five of Pentacles, I'd really think about it, and I'd also think about the assessing my alliances, because this card's the Eight of Swords. So those are two pretty rough cards, and the Two of Swords is the lady with the arms crossed across their chest. That's called the card of denial. This card, though, on the other hand, with this, we are completely conscious of the choices that we have available. And that Five of Pentacles is, if any card tells us we are completely, we completely know what the choices we have that are available. We might still feel like we're being stopped from doing something that's important to us, but even with that being stopped type of energy, or the feeling of being trapped is what I should say, either being unable to or unwilling to make a choice, it usually maintains this really painful state. By not making the choice, it makes it even harder, because a lot of times then it gets made for us, and that's not something we Virgos want. I don't know how you Virgos feel, but I don't like anybody making my choices for me. And in this card, not only are eyes blindfolded, but also her mouth is pretty well taped down there, but she has loose ties all around her. She can shake herself out of there and untie that anytime she wants and knock down those swords that she feels are holding her in, because the swords are basically in sand. They aren't buried up to their ears in this. So a lot, this can be, if I felt like I was stuck or trapped, it could be a very negative card because of being blind and, blind and swords all around us, but they're like this little barrier if I thought about it. So there's a situation right now that's really causing us some kind of great unhappiness. It could be a person, maybe a situation, things like of that kind of energy. But we're never never without the resources to change the matter, which is what I told you about that Five of Pentacles type energy. It's what they just said. Never. If it's a bad situation, it's temporary, so it can be avoided. So what I'm saying with this is, if I know the choice that's right for me, I need to act on the choice. That's basically the choice that's right for me, not the choice that's right for anyone else. So I really want to basically understand my choices when I make those choices and be able to make the right choices. The ones that I'm being honest with myself about, and I'm in that kind of awakened state, and I know truly, they're saying, and I know truly what I really wanted in the first place, and I'm going to go get it. Even if it's like me walking away from something, walking away from a bad situation, walking away from an alliance I made with a group or a team or a person that I no longer was appropriate, if that makes sense, no longer was appropriate for me. And that's the actual way they're saying it, was no longer the appropriate thing for me, period. And that's a truth. When we think about it, it actually is a truth. Sometimes we don't want to do it, or we're fearful we're doing it, or we feel like we're trapped in it, but it's still a spiritual truth. The next one here is a good card. So it's the Knight of Cups energy, and that's like excellent because that's bringing us forward into a stage of a new kind of love. It's that knight in shining armor on the white horse energy that's coming in to help us. And it would mean that we're deeply involved in some kind of a thing, situation, a person, something like that, work maybe, and energetics that we really are evolved into it, where to the point where nothing else matters to us but this. Now, this is the energetics, male or female, of a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio type energy. Um, and it could be a person that is outside of us, but it could also be someone who's coming in, making a declaration of love type energy, or a proposal, a marriage, something along those lines. But it's something that I feel like my whole life is insignificant unless I have this. It could represent love, but if it's not something that represents actual love to me, it will be a good, honorable, loyal companion that I can trust with anything. Just exactly like if I thought about the energetics of the Queen of Rods, which would be very mature, this might be a little bit younger type energy, but it would be some kind of a situation that's really important to me. And this energy, like this, like I said, could be something outside of me that's emotional. It could be a new love. And it can be based on the way these cards are showing up. But this person is our word, kind. Maybe we need to step into that type of energy, like the emotional part of it, and kind. Because we're an earth sign and we're into the details. And with that original message of paying attention, maybe we should reassess a lot of things in our life, or reassess and go back, look at details, things like that, to make sure they are all right. And then we could make really clear, beneficial choices for us. Do I love this thing I'm going into? Because it could be like a situation. Do I love this work I'm going to go into? Those type of energetics are what is really going to be important and really relevant to us, especially if we think really like clearly about the things that, and the people, basically, things, people, situations, corporations, perhaps too, that we're getting or involved with, or maybe they were past associations that were important to us. Maybe they're not anymore, because next we have the Four of Swords. And this comes after the Three of Swords, which is the heart with all the swords stuck into it, And that Eight of Swords energy is similar because it's giving me choice or something like that. But with this card, it's about R&R, resting, recuperation, coming back from the battle and taking the respite that we need, contemplating, getting a solid perspective on the things that had happened along the way. It may have been in pain. Sometimes I think this could be a card for after a surgery kind of energy, so we may have been in pain, emotional or whatever, but this is the first stage of our recovery, of coming out of it, whether it was emotional upheaval or a physical type upheaval, and the rest we would be taking a time out to think about things, to think them through, to plan our next move, because we've got to come out of the energetics of the Five of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords, and this is the thing that will give us that time to come out of that type of energy. It's basically the calm after the storm, getting away from people or circumstances, which is what the Five of Pentacles basically, or our original message rather, told us, and also the Five of Pentacles. Sometimes with this we need a vacation from everybody and everything, or an extended retreat. It's like, maybe for some of us, it's like, go back to school, kids. It's that kind of energetics where I need to go away by myself, and I feel like I'm a monk. I want to be a monk. I just want to go hide in the corner, But when we get into this, we really need to take the time for the R&R, the rest and relaxation that we're doing. And it's important that we take the time. We need to think about, reevaluate what was happening, or what have we been doing before a crisis type situation came up. So the card is telling us, get our inner, not outer. Swords are mental energy. So it's mental energy. Put our little thinking cap on, right? Get on with it. And we need to get our inner house in order. Basically, can't get our inner house in order in any way, shape, or form if we do not take that little downtime. And we Virgos are extremely good at not taking the downtime, because there's always something on our plate to do. Next. That type of energetics is coming up. But with that Knight of Cups, might be coming up because there's something that we really are emotionally tied to, or a situation, especially with the Eight of Swords. So take the time, sit, kind of step back, evaluate things. Turn off the phone, shut the front door, take the time to go within, get it in order, basically, for my own self. What's our word down here? Be honest and kind to my own self. That's what they're telling me to say. Honesty, kindness to my own self. It's saying assess. That original message, assess the people, the groups, the business maybe even that I'm involved in, or the teams I'm involved in, right? Assess those, really look at them. So that could be the card of that, because our next card here is the Queen of Rods, or the Queen of Wands. That's fire energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, very, very mature, male or female. This is power and authority, all rolled up into one. So authenticity and honesty and awakened spirit. So some of us, with all this mess here, looking at the Eight of Swords and the Four of Swords, are going to really think about what's going on. We are really going to make a choice. Some of us may be going from that Knight of Cups energy to the Queen of Wands energy or Queen of Rods energy. Maybe a separation or separation from people, right? And deciding when we take that little respite exactly what we want. If it was a partnership, we might dissolve it. That type of energy is coming up around all of us, and we might go from Queen of Rods to Knight of Cups or the opposite manner. So this is power and authority standing up, shining. We are earth signs. This is a more of a business financial type energy for the most part of it. The Queen of Wands energy is. So they are very social. If it's a person outside of us and we're not being called to act with these type of qualities, if it's a person outside of us, they are honorable, they're intelligent, their advice that they give is really well worth taking. They're a loyal confidant. So it's someone I can trust to help me sort any of this things out here that are happening or going on, and they're an excellent, good money manager. But if the Queen of Rods, I keep wanting to say Wands even though the card says Rods, if the Queen of Rods is not an actual person, it means that it's a time, a good time, excellent time for us to move forward in any type of business venture that we be planning. If we're being called to step into this type of energy, it really tells us that we have those qualities that we need to succeed. So the way these cards are falling, some of us, it just may be going from one relationship to another, thinking things through, taking the time away, thinking things through. For others of us, it's going to be around that original message with assessing the people that were around and going towards something that is right and good for us. But I feel this energy of that word spontaneity, and we don't do things spontaneously for the most part. We think about things, we think those things through, right? And we think them through very clearly, and we mostly weigh the action, like the risks against the good that's going to come out of any type of situation that would be around us. But we'll make the right, what they're saying to me is at all times, we Virgos have capacity in us to weigh things, make the right decision. I believe for most of us, this energetics is going to come up around money and or love, period. But I think the focus, because they're telling us to assess things, is going to be maybe around our work type energy and assess what we really love. I can't put this in one place for you guys, or that you have to sort out yourself. That's one thing about doing these readings that drives me nuts, but it is what it is. So I think for a lot of us it may be maybe something stopped, maybe a business alliance or a relationship that got stopped or halted, and I lost our angel card here, and we don't want to really look at it, and we're going to have to make a decision that's going to take us forward, whether we enjoyed them or not. And most of us probably didn't enjoy it, so we'll just do it with that backup plan. Might be job oriented. It says focus on service. It could be job oriented. It says your soul desires only to joyfully serve and to swim in a constant stream of bliss. This stream continuously feeds you everything you need. Put your entire focus Upon staying in this stream of giving and receiving in every situation and in all that you do, I see that energy as staying in a state of grace is how it feels to me, like letting the source, evaluating on the earth plane, letting the source show me by taking that rest and respite energetics off the Four of Swords to what step I need to take forward for my own self, and then I'm going to just do it because of the Queen of Rods energy that's in there is going to tell me, even if it's a person outside of me, that advice I'm taking. It's that simple. If it's what I have to have inside of me, I have capacity to take my own advice this month. This card comes to you because you've been worried about your life mission. Perhaps you felt insecure about whether you'll make enough money, or Five of Pentacles, be successful, or be well received by others. Instead of concerns about what you receive or other people's reactions, focus solely upon how you can serve. Use your natural talents, your passions, your interests to help others or some vital cause. Then through the law of attraction, you'll receive all of the support you need. Release money worries to God and the angels. Be receptive to inner divine guidance and follow it without hesitation. I see the what I'm seeing is the Five of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, and the word spontaneity all at the same time in my little noggin here. Focus, be receptive to your divine guidance and follow it without hesitation. If you get nervous, focus on the service. Well, Virgo, that's our reading for this month. I want to tell all of you thank you for your likes, shares, your subscribes, and for your comments. I read each and every one of them, and I truly appreciate them. If anybody needs to know more about me, or just go neb about me, or if you want to set an appointment with me, all of the information is down below the screen in the About section, and it's over at the website. Over at the website are two short videos. One explains the prayer class to you that I put out there for you, and the other the sutra classes that I put out there for you, all of you guys. The prayer class is 2.5 hours long. It explains exactly how you format prayers, why you format them the way you do, and the sutras are simple thought forms. Takes 5 minutes a day in a meditation, and it enhances your clear perceptions really dramatically. But little videos are over there to explain it to you. And all of you I've met through 4 whole years of doing these readings now, and everybody I've met through 32 years of doing this work. I want to tell you all it's been an honor, a privilege, pleasure, and joy to serve you. Hopefully I'll see you back here next month. Bye-bye.